Hi darlings, so today we're going to be showing you the MAC Studio Fix foundation. So a little bit about MAC. I remember going to my first MAC store when I was in 7th grade, and it was to look for Halloween makeup. Now, since I was in 7th grade, I didn't want to spend a lot of makeup, so I ended up not getting anything. But the first time I actually bought something from MAC was right after I graduated high school. I went to the MAC store in the Domain in Austin, and I went there with my friend and I bought the first MAC lipstick I had, which was the Ruby Woo shade. Definitely a shade I still love. So now I'm trying out their foundation. I decided to give this a shot because it definitely has been around for a while, and I feel like MAC is well known in India for being brown girl friendly. So that's why I decided to give this a shot, and MAC has been sold in Sephora recently, so I feel like they're kind of making a comeback. So let's get started. I bought the shade NC30 and I picked this shade online. Usually I sometimes shade match in stores, but I find that the lighting in stores is kind of different, and sometimes when I ask an associate to help shade match me, they end up messing up. They end up going too dark or weird colors. So I just prefer to shade match online, and what I usually do is I try to pick something that's a light medium shade with neutral undertones. From what I remember, this didn't exactly meet that, but it was somewhat close. So I'm going to show you some on my hands and then we'll continue with my face. So that's a tiny dot of it, and I'm just going to blend it out. So you can see it blended into my skin. You can't really tell that there's any foundation shade on it. So now we're going to go with my face, but first I'm going to do a primer. Alright, so this is the final look after I've done all my makeup. I will have all the products I used linked down below. And right now it's 10:30 a.m. I will show you what it looks like when I come back. It is 5 o'clock now, and this is what the MAC foundation looks like after all that time in the city. So basically what I did was I left and I had lunch outside, and it was semi-outdoor seating. It was kind of open on one side and closed on the other side, but there wasn't AC or anything. And then I went to a coffee shop for dessert, and then I just walked around the city. So today I'd say the weather wasn't scorching hot, it wasn't super sunny all the time, but it was warm enough that you could get sweaty. So I did get a little sweaty, but overall the makeup does not feel uncomfortable. I still feel pleasant to wear this, but you can definitely see that my face did get a little bit oily, but I don't think the foundation is to blame. That's honestly just the weather, and if I used some blotting tissue, I think it would have looked just as good. And then I did have my lipstick fade a little because I had lunch and dessert and I didn't reapply. But overall, I'd say I really did like this foundation, and I think it's great for everyday wear, and it's also great if you're a brown girl looking for a good foundation that matches your skin tone. And because MAC is sold in India, and I'm sure it's sold in many other countries as well, it's pretty easy to find this foundation. So the only thing I would say that I would consider a con is I don't think this would be my go-to foundation for a special event. If I were going to a wedding or a party, I personally would prefer something with more coverage for a more glam look. But reality is we're not celebrities going to parties and stuff all the time, so picking something for everyday wear, I definitely think this is it. I also do think that it does have SPF 15 from what I remember, which it says right here, it has SPF 15 and it's supposed to be a matte foundation with oil control. So in terms of matte, it definitely did look more matte in the morning, and I guess my face could have looked more oily than this, but I feel it did control it to some extent. And then it has SPF 15, which is great for summer, but great for like skin protection. But again, SPF 15 is not as high as an SPF 30, but it honestly shouldn't matter because you should be wearing sunscreen regardless. So overall, I did like this product. I would repurchase it, and hopefully this will be my regular wear foundation. So if you found this helpful or have any questions about the product, be sure to let me down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.